Hello everyone, Warrior of Darkness here, and I am here with the tutorial on how to do a weapon swap, a temporary weapon swap. This is not going to be, a thing that's a permanent solution. It's a temporary thing. But I got a request in the Discord server, which I will link in the description, and it asked me if it was a way to swap out a weapon for another weapon for the duration of a buff or a particular animation, and the answer to that is yes. It is 100% possible. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that today. You're going to need a couple things. If you're using obviously you have to be using the quick launcher, the 14 quick launcher, and you'll have to have either Reslog or Anamnesis, which is the posing program that pretty much everyone seems to have. In a place of Anamnesis, you could also use text tools. It'll show you the same information I'm going to show you here, and then also you need the visual effects editor, and you could get that as well from the plugins on the quick launcher. But let's go ahead and dive into this. I'm going to show you guys here. So what we're going to do is you're going to open up the visual effects editor by typing /VFXIdit, and that'll be somewhere on the screen. Obviously I'm not seeing that right now. I'll add that later. So you're going to want to open up visual effects editor, and in the visual effects editor tab that shows up like this, you'll want to click on TMB right here, and it will bring up this particular window here, the TMB window. So what we're going to use today is we're going to use Fight or Flight for our tutorial, because this is the one I chose to do when I was learning the thing in the first place. And so we're just going to load that into both sides of the editor here. So what you're going to do, you're going to leave all these tracks here, these 5 tracks, you're going to leave them to sleep. You're not going to disturb them. You're going to open up a new track, and in that new track you're going to need, well, 2 or 3 things depending on how you want to do it. I use, when I do an invisibility, I like to do an opening invisibility in which the weapon or whatever I'm editing becomes invisible in a set number of frames. This, I'm going to use 1 for this example. And then I use a second invisibility for the sustained visibility that the effect will give. So there's the starting invisibility, then the sustained invisibility over the course of the buff or animation. And then you're also going to want a summon weapon entry here. So you're going to need all 3 of those. So the first thing you're going to do is with the invisibility entry, you're going to, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select a fade time of 1, and a starting invisibility of 1, and an ending invisibility of 0. So 1 is fully visible, 0 is no visibility at all. And anything in between is like, the hide effect and stuff like that. Also, you're going to want to click Enable Filter, and you'll check Weapon. So your weapon, and if you are a ninja and you want both of your weapons to disappear, you'll also select Offhand. So you'll select Weapon and Offhand if you have, if you want both of those to disappear, or you'll just select Weapon, which is what I'm going to do here because I'm working with Paladin. Their offhand is shield. I don't know if you want to use this for Paladin and you want your shield to disappear during this, you can do that. But I'm going to go ahead and just use Weapon. In the second one, the first one, you have the invisibility 1, or starting visibility 1, end invisibility 0, and a fade time of 0. And then you're going to have a starting and end visibility of 0 for the second one, and you want to go ahead and check the same things for enable filter that you did before. So there's that. You have the fade time, and you also want to select, for the second invisibility, you want to select the length of time that you want your original weapon to be invisible. So for Fight or Flight, it lasts 20 seconds, and each second in the editor is 30 frames. So 30 times 20, which is 600. So I want the fade time to be 600, And we're gonna try and find out where in how long we want or when we want the invisibility to start taking place. So what I want to do is before you update this, before you click update, I want to find out. Uh, I want it to happen right as my character's holding up the sword right there. You can check this in the PAP editor, but I'm just gonna go ahead and eyeball it. I'm gonna eyeball it. So the visual effect appears at 15, and that's about, we'll say, not that long. I'm gonna go ahead and say 10 frames after the visual effect goes out. That's when she puts the arm out, and I'm just gonna eyeball it. You can check with the PAP editor, but I'm not gonna complicate things. I'm just gonna go ahead and wing it. So the start time for this, I guess, since that was 15, we're gonna go say 10 seconds or so. 20. So we'll say 25 frames. 10 frames or so. We'll say at frame 25, start your invisibility. And the second invisibility is going to be the time plus fade time. So it's going to be 26, the next frame. And then for 600 frames, it'll be invisible. Now, that's the invisibility part down. And so you can see that. Okay, I don't know why she started that immediately. No, maybe it's because I don't actually have my weapon out. Yeah, there you go. So you see it just disappears at the right time. So what we're gonna do from there is we're gonna go to summon weapon now, and we want this to start at the same time the invisibility starts. So at 25. So 25 is where the invisibility starts. 25 is when the new weapon appears. The duration is going to be the same duration as the invisibility. So, and that's the duration for fight or flight. So we're going to do that. What you need is the weapon ID for the weapon that you want to replace this weapon with, which is why I said you'll need text tools or a nemesis or reslog. I'm going to use reslog, but because I can do it all in the screen here, and I know exactly what weapon I want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and use reslog for that. You can use a nemesis. In a nemesis, it tells you a breakdown of that info at the top. It'll show the model, and then the body ID and the variant and all that other info. But it shows it in text tools too. If you go to model for that weapon, if you go to that specific weapon and you look down, go to model in the tab and you look down at the bottom, it shows you the same information I'm going to show you here. So I'm going to type, not in here, here. I'm going to type reslog, RESLOG. Oh, I already had it open. So here's reslog here. And what we're going to do is we're going to clear this. And you want to type weapon in here so it shows you when there's a weapon change, and that's what I'm gonna do here. I particularly personally like this Dark Knight weapon, the Crypt Lurker Dark Knight weapon, and I'm gonna use that for our buff here. So we are going to look at this. This is weapon ID 1501. So this is the info that goes in here: the weapon ID, body ID, variant ID, all that. The weapon ID is 1501. The body ID is 98. And it's variant 1, which sometimes you don't really need to put the variant number, but variant 1 is the number we're going to use here, because right here you can see it says V1. One thing here that I don't particularly understand, but we're going to include it, of course, is for unknown 2, for this slot here, there should be an 8 here. And I'm not sure why, because all of this is unknown. These two numbers are unknown. and I haven't figured out what Unknown 1 does, but I know Unknown 2 makes the weapon, I guess, bind to your hand, puts the weapon in your hand. I am not sure, but we're gonna go ahead and I just know that if you don't put an 8 there, it will usually show nothing in your hand at all. So we're gonna go ahead and go for that. So what we've got here, we've got our summon weapon, we've got our invisibilities, and it's time to test. And I did something wrong. Or maybe Unknown 2. Maybe it's Unknown 1 that gets the 8 treatment. No, what happened? Oh, okay, maybe erase the variant? If that's true, then I may have goofed. Ah, there it is. There wasn't a variant. So, variant 1, there's no variant 1 for this. But anyway, that's how you do it. As you can see, this is going to be in my hand for 20 seconds. That should be up in a bit. And there it goes back to normal. So, what you can do for this, you can open up a whole realm of possibilities for this. You can make a weapon swap or a weapon change for a buff, or you can even have the weapon change every animation if that's what you choose. But and you also can add visual effects in the hands or on the weapon, bound to the weapon, to make it seem like, the weapon's being summoned out of fire or a bright light or something like that. But yeah, that's about it. That's how that works. If you need to do anything, if you need to learn anything or have a need to find out something that I've done in a mod or something you think I might know, you can hit me up on the Discord server, or you can DM me on Discord. Please don't go crazy. I also have a Twitter, and I'm going to link that below as well. There's nothing else. I think that's it. I will catch you guys in the next one of these if it is so requested. Bye.